Jason Spaceys, and this is a look back at the goodies that I got from Japan, my swag. It was going to be a two-part video. We've got just first to get through all the cool stuff that I managed to get from the retro stores in Japan, and the second part will be an unboxing of a certain one of those items. So let's just get straight into it, shall we? So first thing I've got to mention is I got myself a brand new camera, Panasonic Full HD, a HCW580M. It's got Wi-Fi built. It's a bit of a step up or an upgrade. Oh, there it is, from my previous camera, which I will still continue to use because it's still not too bad. It's just that this has some perks over this one. And one of the cool things is that it has a camera that is actually inbuilt here that looks back at you. So as you're filming, you'll get to see my ugly mug in the shot below in the top left-hand corner, bottom left-hand corner. So you'll see that feature on future videos from here on. But yeah, so that was one cool pickup. But you're here for the games. So let's get into the gaming side of the swag. First off, we got this cool guy from, I went to visit the Pokemon Center in Osaka. There will be a video on that later, but my wife was the one that wanted this, and this is Litten. I haven't seen this locally. I'm not sure if it's available outside of Japan as yet. I can't imagine why not though, but yeah, she just couldn't resist picking this guy up. So yeah, we've got him. I'm running out of room here. There you go. And we've also got, for me, this is my choice, Mimikyu, which was the Pokemon that sort of captured the internet's imagination, and I think it's really cool looking. So I've got him planted downstairs next to Pikachu, and yeah, they look cool together. And also while I was there, I picked up a Pocket Monsters, because they're not Pokemon now, although there was a Pokemon sign. They're known as Pocket Monsters in Japan, and this is a 20th anniversary special booklet. Kind of expensive. It's 2,500 yen, which is about 30 Australian bucks. So I'm hoping this is worthwhile. We spent quite a bit in that store. We're buying mainly gifts for our friends and relatives while we were there. So that's all the toy stuff from the Pokemon Center. Other cool stuff though, I visited, here we go, Super Potato Store. That's another video coming up. I will do that perhaps this week sometime, and that will be a run through the retro center of the Super Potato Store in Osaka. So while I was there, I picked up mostly Gamecube stuff, but before I get to the Gamecube side of things, I got Flicky. Now Flicky, another dive away off camera here. Flicky is for this system, and I used to have it on disc, which was illegal, but all these years later I've managed to source the official copy because it was never sold in Australia officially. This came out on the Mega Drive a couple of years later after release. So this was a 1984 release. It became available on the Mega Drive in 1990, and then later it got re-released on the Sega Mega Drive Ultimate Collection. That will be a video featured later on in that series. But yeah, my Sega SC3000 has another Japanese game to go along with that. That will be featured in that Flicky video, I can imagine, later. I'll put that to the side. I also got Game Boy Space Invaders. Now I thought this was going to be the one that unlocks a feature with the Super Game Boy. Unfortunately, this is just regular Game Boy. So yeah, it's just going to be boring old Space Invaders, the original. But I just like the box and the fact that my channel is dedicated to Space Invaders somewhat, so I had to pick that up. Also, I'll put a picture up there of this one because I've decided to leave the box downstairs in its display cabinet. But this is a Game & Watch. This was only available in Japan. This is Ball. This was originally released in 1979. They later, to celebrate 30 years of Game Boy, Game & Watch, they decided to release a repro, official repro. That's pretty cool actually, because it's official. It's exactly the same as the original would be, except the only difference is it doesn't have kickstand for the back, and it has the Club Nintendo logo on the back there. Original copyright, it says here, is 1980, and then it says 2010. So 2009 was kind of slightly wrong. It's 2010 released, this one. Couldn't buy it. You had to get it through Club Nintendo. I picked this up and the box is immaculate, and I showed my my nephew in Japan, and he doesn't say much. Not that he can't speak English, he just doesn't talk much. He said, follow me, and I went up to his room and he had this as well. So he kind of one-upped me there, saying that, I already had it, but mine's in better condition. So yeah, there's that. And also, I got Donkey Kong on the Game Boy, and I don't know why I picked that up. It just looked cool at the time, and it was only 400 yen. Why wouldn't you? 400 yen, that's like $5. So yeah, there's that. Now, I also, before I get to the big swag, I got here a game on the Mega CD. Now, I will put the title to this because there's no English, and here we go. There's no English, and it says it here. Urusai Yatsura. Now, Urusai means noisy in Japanese. Yatsura, I'm not sure what the meaning of that is, but there's a Twitter follower that I have, and he is absolutely obsessed with this Japanese manga TV cartoon character, and I decided to pick this up just to put this on the channel so that later he'll eventually get to see that. He doesn't own this, so that was a cool pickup. I don't know much about the cartoon series, so I'll have to look into that for a future episode. Now, the big one. This was awesome to find this. I was really disappointed with Club Sega, and that was Club Sega is the arcades that Sega own and run in Japan. And the reason why I was disappointed is because there was very little in the way of stuff you could actually buy. Everything was UFO crane obtained through the crane games, the UFO games, and I suck at those. So I've only ever won one item, and that was on my first visit. That was a Doraemon that I managed to pick up somehow, fluke. So, but next door to Club Sega, they had a company called Mandarake, or a shop called Mandarake, which is a comic bookstore, memorabilia, and more importantly, video game shop. So I went down to the back. There was a Kiwi guy working there with very limited knowledge of video games, which was kind of odd. And he pointed out some of the consoles that they had for sale in the corner, including this one. The Nintendo Gamecube with the Game Boy Advance player. Brand new, unused. It is totally unused, and I just couldn't get over how awesome this pickup was. Now, I've managed to get this for 5,500 yen, which, I don't know, translates to roughly about 70 Australian dollars. Guys, you cannot pick up locally a GameCube for that price. I paid more for mine in the corner, which came with 5 games, granted, but having said that, this has got the Game Boy Advance player in it, and I was tracking one of them down. Now, the couple of things about this is that it can only run with 110 volts, so I cannot run this directly off power here in Australia. We have 240 volts here. I do have a step-down transformer. I don't need it though, because I can use the power adapter from my existing GameCube. So there's that. I'll do an unboxing really quickly in a second. I'll have to stop the video though for that. We got Pikmin. I picked that up. I've got a game called PN03. I have no idea about what this game is, but it was 100 yen. Why not? Super Mario Strikers. I picked this up because Grumpy Retro Gamers have a channel, and their biggest highest selling or highest viewed, I should say, video featured this game. So that's kind of what sold me on it. So there's that. And I also got Pokemon Channel. I know very little about this game. Also got Zelda 4 Swords, I can't wait to get into this. This is going to be awesome. Another Pokemon channel game. I don't know very much about these ones, so that'll be interesting to see what's on that. Mario Sunshine. Awesome. This is the only Mario game I haven't played. I have been itching to get my hands on this. And I end up with the Japanese version, so that's going to be interesting with all the Japanese text. I'll see how that works. So there's that. Super Monkey Ball. It's awesome. Another cool game. Back when Sega were working out what they're going to do next when the Dreamcast died out. And also Super Mario Party 6 and 7 with the microphones. I don't know what the microphones do, but that's going to be very interesting to see how they play in the game. So yeah, that was my pickups from Japan. Let's unbox this GameCube, shall we? Alright, so what we're going to do now is unbox the GameCube, and I don't know if this is going to work. What you see running in the background here is my Australian PAL GameCube running. I'm simply going to disconnect the cords from that and run it into this GameCube to save me from blowing up my GameCube or the power pack on this one, because it'll only take 110 volts. 240 volts is too much for it. So let's get this underway. I have not opened this before. I've had a look just to check that it is brand new. It is brand new. And so I'm going to swing over here to this other camera, and hopefully I won't stuff this up. So right away, oh wow, this is awesome. Okay, so right away you can see, oh, it's sealed goodness right there. I'm going to pull these out one by one. I'm just trying to work out the best way to do this. I haven't got much room in this studio of mine. So first off, we have the GameCube itself. If I can get this out without butchering it. There we go. So there we go. We've got the GameCube itself sealed, but not for long. There we go. Handy little carry case. So there's the GameCube. I'm just going to plonk that on the table here and put these over to the side so I can repack this later. We've got controller 1. I won't be using these days because I've got the really awesome Wavebird, I should say, for my other GameCube. So there's that sealed. It will remain sealed because I have 4 other controllers. I don't need this one. So there's that. Also, this one's pretty cool though. If I can get this out. This one's a translucent one, transparent one. Whitish coloured, but you can see the circuitry in behind it. That was a thing that was going on in the late 90s, early 2000s era. So there's that as well. This is the best part. The player. This is the Game Boy Advance player. I'm not too sure if this actually runs Game Boy games though or not as well, so I'll have to check that out at a later stage. But yeah, that was the main reason why I picked this whole thing up, was just for this. So I'll take that out of its box wrapper, and that can go there. Awesome. This is like Christmas. We have all the cords, the component cords, which I won't need. The power brick in there, you don't need to see that. Yeah, pretty standard stuff. And the Game Boy player disc, and also the memory card. Now the memory card on this, I've already got a few of these, so that wasn't the big bonus. But this here, you have to run it. So if you're running a Japanese GameCube, you have to run it on the Japanese boot disc. So if I was to take this boot disc and the player and run it on my Australian one, it won't work. So I'll have to work out a work around that later. Maybe an online download or something. I'm not too sure. These things are getting hard to come by. So there you go. That is everything that is in the box. And I'm going to hook this up and see if it works. This is kind of like a moment of truth. Okay, so it's all plugged in, ready to go. And let's see if this works. If it doesn't work, you might be seeing a GameCube get blown up here. I don't think so. Let's check this out. Sweet mother of God, it works. And my TV is able to pick up the NTSC signal, which is something we couldn't do back in the day. Oh my God, Japanese, look at that. That is, oh my god, this is so weird. If I was to attempt to run Animal Crossing, the Australian version on this, it's going to get an error message, no doubt. We'll check that out. Yes, it just doesn't recognize it. It plain won't do it. Oh, that there, my friends, is a big region lock. No. Super Mario Sunshine. Press start. A blue logo? Odd. Miyamoto. Well, that, people, is just absolutely cool. That will feature on a future Let's Play. We will leave that though for now. It's just double checking that it works, and it does, so that's cool. One last thing I want to check though is the Game Boy Advance player. I want to see if this is running as it should. This is going to be so cool. Look at that! Oh, Game Boy Advance on my TV. That is so cool. And probably should give you a bit of audio. That is, man, you got no idea how much the silly thing is, I've already got this on the Wii U via Virtual Console. I just love this game so much though that I've actually got the original on the Game Boy Advance, and it goes straight to the Game Boy once you fire it up with the disc in there, and it works. So I have now a way of recording Game Boy and Game Boy Advance games. Yes! Oh, look how cool that is. And Z does what, I wonder? Oh, so you get all these different other options, which I'll have to go into later. Guys, this has been awesome. To get this running now on my Gamecube here in Australia, a Japanese Gamecube running in an Australian TV. Pretty cool stuff, and brand new, no doubt. No one else has ever touched this. Like 5,500 yen was the price. You couldn't dream that. And I was actually going there trying to get a Famicom originally, and I walked out, I think, with something much better. So anyway, guys, there will be some more videos coming up on the channel. I've got a look at Japanese Gamers Collection that's coming up shortly. I'll also be doing a video on a walk through the Pokemon Center in Osaka. What else have I got? Pokemon on the brain. I've also got a look at the Super Potato Store in Osaka. That's a cool video coming up shortly. A podcast is also coming up featuring Wacko Jacko. That's my monthly Yes Another Bloody Gaming podcast coming up shortly. So that will be on the channel as well. Guys, please subscribe. There's a lot of stuff to come. In the meantime, my name has been Brian, and I've been gaming since Spaceys. Thanks, guys.